You're not losing your intelligence all at once. It's disappearing 5 minutes at a time. This video reveals 5 everyday habits that psychology proves are quietly lowering your IQ. And if you're doing even 3 of these, your brain is rewiring itself to think slower. Number 1. Constantly consuming short-form content. Every time you swipe to the next video, your brain gets a hit of novelty. New image, new sound, new stimulation, every few seconds. And your attention system starts to crave it. Neuroscientists call this attention fragmentation. Your brain literally restructures itself to expect constant interruption. The problem? Deep thinking requires sustained focus. When your brain is trained on 15-second intervals, it loses the ability to sit with complex ideas for 15 minutes. Studies show that heavy short-form consumers perform worse on tasks requiring concentration and problem-solving. Not because they're less intelligent, because their brain has been rewired for shallow processing. You're training your mind to skim the surface of everything and dive deep into nothing. Number 2. Avoiding mentally difficult tasks. Here's what most people don't realize about intelligence. It's not what you know. It's how well your brain handles difficulty. When you struggle with a complex problem, neurons fire in new patterns. Connections strengthen. Your cognitive capacity expands. But the moment something feels hard, what do most people do? Switch tabs. Google the answer. Find an easier version. Psychologists call this cognitive laziness. And your brain learns fast. Effort equals discomfort, so avoid it. Here's the problem. That struggle you're avoiding? That's literally the mechanism that makes you smarter. When you consistently choose easy, your brain stops building the neural infrastructure needed for complex thinking. Over time, hard thinking doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It becomes genuinely harder because you're out of practice. Number 3, multitasking throughout the day. You think you're being productive, working while the podcast plays, texting while watching TV, answering emails during meetings. But neuroscience reveals an uncomfortable truth. Your brain cannot multitask. It can only switch rapidly between tasks, and every single switch has a cost. Each time you shift attention, your brain has to pause the current task, reload the new context, reorient itself. This process burns mental energy and degrades performance. Research shows chronic multitaskers score lower on memory tests, focus assessments, problem-solving tasks. Even worse, they become terrible at filtering distractions. The more you multitask, the worse you get at ignoring interruptions. So the habit that feels like efficiency is actually training your brain to lose control of its own attention. But here's where it gets worse. The first 3 habits weaken your brain's processing power. The next 2 attack the foundation of intelligence itself, memory and learning capacity. And one of them happens while you sleep. Number 4, chronic sleep deprivation. You know sleep is important, but you don't know what it actually does. While you sleep, your brain isn't resting, it's working. Your glymphatic system activates, flushing out toxic waste that accumulated in your brain during the day. Your memories consolidate, transferring from temporary to permanent storage. New neural connections solidify. Learning gets encoded. Without adequate sleep, this entire maintenance system fails. Studies show that after just 1 night of poor sleep, cognitive performance drops measurably. Attention weakens. Memory formation suffers. Reasoning slows. But here's the devastating part. Most people don't notice because they adapt to feeling mentally foggy. They think this is normal. This is just who they are. It's not. It's chronic cognitive impairment from sleep debt. You're trying to run high-performance software on corrupted hardware. Number 5. Letting technology do all the thinking. Quick. What's your best friend's phone number? Your mom's address? Can't remember, because it's saved in your phone. Psychologists call this cognitive offloading. When you know information lives in your device, your brain decides it doesn't need to store it internally. At first, this seems efficient. Why memorize what you can look up? But here's what's actually happening. Your brain is a muscle. Memory is exercise. When you stop exercising memory, the entire system weakens, not just for phone numbers, for everything. Research shows heavy digital dependence correlates with weaker memory formation, reduced recallability, poorer learning retention. Your brain literally becomes less capable of encoding new information because it's outsourced that function to your phone. You're trading short-term convenience for long-term cognitive decline. So let's be honest about what's happening. You scroll for hours, training your brain for distraction. You avoid difficult thinking, letting your cognitive muscles atrophy. You multitask constantly, degrading your attention control. You sacrifice sleep, skipping essential brain maintenance. You outsource memory to devices, weakening your mental capacity. None of these feel dangerous at the moment. That's exactly why they're so destructive. Here's the truth psychology reveals. Intelligence isn't fixed. It's not something you just have or don't have. It's something you build or destroy through daily choices. Your brain is neuroplastic, constantly reshaping itself. Every habit is a vote for the kind of mind you're creating. These 5 habits, they're voting for decline. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is your brain recognizing truth. Subscribe for psychology that challenges your habits, not just your thoughts. And remember, the smartest thing you can do today is to admit which of these habits you need to change tomorrow. You now know what's breaking your brain down. The next video shows you what builds it back up. 5 habits psychology links directly to sharper thinking.